So we're checking out the Fat Electrician and the Fighting Preacher. So the Fat Electrician, if you don't know, he's a really popular kind of military history, you know, popular influencer. So let's listen to the Fighting Preacher.
The fact that this guy doesn't even have a Wikipedia page about him is absolutely criminal. Today we're talking about Logan Weston, aka the Fighting Preacher, which is one of the greatest military nicknames of all time. And boy oh boy did he earn it, because wait till you hear this guy's rap sheet. Years in service, 27. Wars
Good God, 27 years.
fought in, 3.
Bro, bro is like got main character vibes, man. Got the plotline armor, man.
Founding member
Dadgum.
of Merrill's Marauders, or as we know it today, the 75th Ranger Regiment.
I've never heard of the Marauders.
Credited with knocking out multiple enemy tanks by himself at the same time. Helped lead.
How the hell do you knock out multiple tanks at the same time? Holy cow,
The
man.
last bayonet charge in U.S. military history. Became a Green Beret in his 40s so that he could advise on how to combat communism in Vietnam.
Of course.
And this is normally the part of the video where I would list off all of his awards and citations, but seeing as he has over 200 of them, we're just gonna hit this.
Holy cow, 200? Good God. And he doesn't have a Wikipedia page? Bro.
Distinguished Service Cross, 5 Silver Stars, 7 Bronze Stars with V device, and 6 Purple Hearts.
Oh, is that all?
And we're gonna get to how he got all that right after a word from our sponsor.
Delete me. Delete me.
What? Where's my new gun?
All
This.
right, we're going to skip past Bro's.
I had the same one when I was getting signed up. Here's the thing: when you go to sign up, you don't really give them your personal.
See if I can get past
His childhood kind of sucked. Family's dirt poor, like log cabin in the woods with no plumbing or power, dirt poor. He bounced around a lot between Michigan and Pennsylvania, and he only got an 8th grade education before going and getting manual labor jobs to support himself and his family. During the Great Depression, Logan's hunting buddy, basically his best friend who has a wife and kids, isn't able to find work and he's not able to support his family, so Logan, wanting to help him out, goes to the superintendent at this coal mine and is like, hey, can we hire this guy? And he's like, no, we're struggling to keep you guys employed right now. So Logan basically quits his job and gives it to his friend so that he can support his wife and kids. Takes him a while, but eventually he finds a.
That is wild. Quit your job so your bud can take care of his family. That is. I can respect that. That's a bro right there. Most people won't even leave your woman alone if you're a bro, but give up his whole job. That's
job as a lumberjack, and shortly after that, the coal mine that he used to work in collapses and a bunch of people die. A lot of his friends, thankfully not his best friend that was his hunting buddy. Because of that, the mine ends up.
Oh yeah, can't lose the hunting buddy. Yeah, that's wild.
Getting shut down, and his friend is now out of a job again, so Logan does the same thing. He goes to his lumberjack boss and is like, hey, I'll quit, give this guy my job. He then goes, finds a job as an appliance repair guy, and then a couple months after that, there's a logging accident and a bunch of more of his friends die from the same crew that he was working with. This really starts to eat at him. He feels like death is following him everywhere he goes. A bunch of his friends have died. He's super depressed about it, and one day he gets home from work at his appliance repair.
Did he lose his hunting buddy? Like I feel there's a major, plot gap right there.
Repair job, and decides that he's going to get a gun out of his dresser and put it to his head. He slowly squeezes the trigger as the hammer's pulling back, and then he says that he hears a voice saying, wait, and he goes to let off the trigger, but before his brain can send that signal, the hammer drops and the gun should have fired, but it doesn't. Not believing what just happened, he thanks God for a second chance, walks outside of his house, and then shoots a tree with the exact same gun, and the gun goes off perfectly fine. And Logan interprets this as God.
Yeah. Well, that is wild. Dude, I didn't really want to do a video this long, but holy cow, I think I'm in for a penny, in for a pound.
having other plans for him, and it just completely shifts his perspective. Previously, he was thinking that death was following him everywhere he goes, and now he feels like he was being protected. God saved him from that mining incident just in time. He saved him from the logging incident, and now he just saved him from himself. Because of this, Logan decides that he's going to give his life to God. At the age of 25 years old, he decides that he's going to go off to Bible college to become a pastor. And that's what he does. He is just reading his Bible and studying in college constantly, and then his junior year of college, the draft starts for World War II in 1940. And at this point, at least, there's no exceptions for going to Bible college as getting you out of the draft, so he has to go, so he does the only thing he can do. He goes, he proposes to his girlfriend, gets engaged, and then sets off for the Army. Winds up at Camp Shelby, Mississippi for basic training, and when he first gets there, like just stepped off the bus to the base, they're in a big open field. There's a guy yelling that basically talking to hundreds of these kids that don't know what's going on, and he's like, okay, look, if you want to be infantry, go over there. You want to be artillery, go over there. You want to be a medic, go over there. You want to be this, go over there, yada, yada, yada. And he's looking around. He doesn't know what any of these words mean. He doesn't know what infantry is. He doesn't know what artillery is. This is 1940. There's no TV show. You can't Google this beforehand. You're not getting to pick a job. So he's like, I don't know what to pick. So for some reason, he picks infantry, thinking that sounds easy. Infants don't do a lot. I could probably do whatever the infantry does.
There may be a situation here in which a serious mistake was made.
Oh, the oh, oh yeah, a serious mistake was made. Oh, love it, love it.
From here, he goes to basic training, then he goes to infantry school, then he's just stationed at Camp Shelby, and the entire time he's also functioning as like a pseudo chaplain. Again, you gotta remember, he's like 27 years old at this point. A lot of the other people coming up are young 18-year-old kids. There's a huge deficit or like lack of religious services available because of how quickly the U.S. military is growing. So he's leading prayer groups, he's, consulting and talking to guys that are having personal problems, much like a chaplain does. And then December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor gets attacked, and then within a matter of hours, he is ordered to move out, and he is somewhere along the Mississippi River at a choke point, basically pulling security on the Mississippi River in case the Japanese invade. You gotta remember, this is Pearl Harbor. It's complete chaos. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. There could be a land invasion at any minute. People have no idea. So he was just mobilized somewhere that the Japanese might show up on the Mississippi River. And again,
So I should be stopping this and interjecting more, but bro's storytelling is top tier storytelling, man. Top tier storytelling.
I presume because of the chaos in the days following Pearl Harbor, nobody knows what's going on, everybody's scrambling, he winds up camping along the Mississippi River with all of his guys for like a month. Like, he was mobilized within hours of Pearl Harbor being attacked and then just stood out there and made sure the Japanese didn't show up at a river for a month straight. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down,
Oh, good Lord, that's got to be entertaining, man. Just sitting there staring at the river, waiting on the Japanese. Just staring at the river. 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish, 4 fish.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm pretty sure they forgot they sent him there, okay? Anyways,
Forgot bro was there. Oh, dadgum.
By the second week of January, he finally gets orders to head back to Camp Shelby, so he packs up all of his stuff, heads back to Camp Shelby, and when he gets there, he is immediately promoted to sergeant. And again, this is obviously because of Pearl Harbor. We're going to war, we're going to need millions of new troops, millions of new draftees, millions of new volunteers. Pretty much anybody with any military experience at that moment was going to get put in a leadership position, so they were promoting everybody. He then gets pulled into...
Wow, sergeant for staring at a river. Holy cow. All right, cool.
His CO's office, and CO tells him that he thinks that Logan would be a good fit for officer candidate school. Logan says he's interested. He goes off, he goes through like a board, like an interview type process, and when he gets kicked back, he gets rejected. Now, I don't know what happened in this interview, but apparently the promotion board's official reason for not promoting him was his religious convictions were too staunch, and they recommended him for a psychological evaluation. The commanding officer that had recommended him for officer candidate school finds out about this. He's pretty pissed off, feels bad for Logan. Logan brings him back into his office, he apologizes, and then immediately promotes him to staff sergeant. A couple days after that, he gets orders, grab your shit, get on the train. He gets on the train, next thing he knows he's in San Francisco, then they tell him get on the boat, he gets on the boat, next thing he knows he's in some tropical paradise called Fiji. And he's training with the local islanders in jungle combat, these Fijian scouts. Apparently they're all 6 foot tall, they're all 200 plus pounds, which in 1941 was a massive dude, and apparently they are ungodly good at jungle warfare. He said that they would do mock war games and the Fijian scouts would just wait till night, so the Americans would have double, triple the normal amount of security, and somehow the Fijian scouts would still sneak into their camp and take markers and just put lines across people's necks while they were sleeping, simulating, I would have just killed you with a knife in your sleep.
Oh. That's a bad place to stop that. Oh my God.
And this is initially who's teaching him and all the rest.
Oh, the screen messed up. Holy cow, dude. So these guys are like big dudes and they're still just sneaking in there. Mark, Mark. I got you and I got you. Dadgum.
Rest of his guys how to operate in a jungle environment. And then when he's not training, he's still doing his pseudo chaplain thing. He's leading little prayer groups, religious services. He's counseling guys that are having trouble with stuff back home or just trouble in general. And that's what he does. And this goes on for months. And then one day they tell him, all right, get on the boats. From here, his ship kind of goes around the Pacific on these search and destroy missions. Basically, Navy intelligence is triangulating where Japanese radio signals are coming from on these little tiny itty bitty islands out in the ocean where the Japanese have left small contingencies of men that are basically just trying to track American ship and airplane movements and radioing it back to their intelligence. So they're triangulating where these guys are, they go in and destroy their outpost. Logan winds up going out on a couple of these missions, but all the outposts that he finds have already been abandoned, so they just destroy the equipment and head back to the ship. While that's going on, they celebrate Christmas of 1942 on the ship. They don't get any special food because the supply ship was sunk by an enemy submarine.
This is the worst.
Shortly after that, his convoy gets attacked by an enemy.
I don't know who. I don't know who bro's using for editor, but his cutaways are entertaining. Those work. I don't know. But I tell you what I'm gonna end up doing here is I'm gonna end up breaking this into sections. So this is gonna be part 1, and I guess I'm gonna have like 6 parts or something. I don't know, because excuse me. This guy's got a lot of freaking videos and a lot of content. Like this one goes on for an hour and 22 minutes. That's a lot. Let's just roll with it.
Submarine, and he's on the deck watching the entire thing as the American Navy sinks this Japanese submarine, and this is like his defining, oh shit, this is for real moment. In his words, and I quote, "For the first time I realized that I was on my way to kill or be killed." Shortly after this, they are informed that they're going to be partaking in the first major Allied offensive against the Japanese by making an amphibious landing on an island known as Guadalcanal. Logan is then individually notified / congratulated because he is receiving a battlefield commission and he is now going to become a lieutenant. He's an officer now. He is then immediately informed that the platoon that he's taking charge of is going to be the first ones to land at Guadalcanal. Okay, just so we're all on the same page, from his perspective, you have to appreciate this. He's basically just been told he's going to lead the first 30 men into combat on offense against the Japanese, and he got promoted to do it. So in the back of his head, he's got to be thinking like, okay, either A, they think I'm awesome. Probably not very likely considering I have no combat experience. B, I just got promoted to be a sacrificial lamb. But if he celebrated Christmas on a ship in 1942, he couldn't have. Shut up. I know what you're going to say. Just shut up.
Well, so I love bro's breakaways. He does these things where he's making fun of keyboard warriors. Let's see if I can find that section again because it's like split second. Yeah, where bro's like making fun of keyboard warriors, and he's got his Echelon energy drinks there in the holders. That's funny.
All right, they make it to Guadalcanal. They board the amphibious landing ships. Logan and his platoon are the first ones in the first ship. They're making their way towards the island. They're getting closer and closer and closer. And then the door on the Higgins boat drops. And like, this is it. This is the moment. Adrenaline's high. This is the moment he's supposed to run out of that Higgins boat onto the beach, engage the enemy in combat, and get revenge for Pearl Harbor. And that's exactly what he goes to do. He's the first one off that Higgins boat. As he runs, jumps off that door into the water, immediately sinks up to his neck in the ocean. Okay, wind immediately taken out of his sails. Cool guy moment, gone forever, and it is now turned into an oh shit moment as he desperately tries to run through the ocean to get to this beach as fast as he can. Which obviously isn't very fast, but luckily they're not taking enemy gunfire or artillery or anything, so they all make it to the beach. He establishes a beachhead, gets all of his men accounted for, and then they kind of wait for some more people to make the
Couldn't get any closer with those boats. Dadgum. You'd think they'd get, closer.
landing on the beach, and then they push further inland. At this point, Logan and probably everybody else is thinking in their head like, okay, well, this was supposed to be a major battle. We're the first Americans to land to engage the enemy. Where are these guys? We know they're here. We're about to walk face first into an ambush. That's what's about to happen. Anxiety is very high. But hey, somebody's got to do it, so they go. They push further inland, waiting for this ambush to come, and after a couple hundred yards, they find the enemy, or what's left of the enemy.
Wait, what's left? Like, what do you mean, what's left?
There's dead guys and chunks of dead bad guys everywhere that's been left rotting out in the sun. There's supplies
Ooh. God.
scattered all over the place. Anything that even slightly resembled a structure has been completely destroyed. Somebody has already been here and just laid waste to this entire thing. So they kind of just take up a holding position and wait for orders, and then, word comes down, they get everything figured out. Apparently the Marines have beat the Army here by like 2 months.
Oh my God.
Come, Gimli! We're gaining on them!
I'm wasted on cross-country. We dwarves are natural sprinters.
Sidebar, I love this part of the story because all I can think about is the TV show The Pacific, when the Army shows up after the Marines have already been there, and the Marines show up and raid all the Army supplies because they're starving. Also worth mentioning, his Army unit was not the first Army unit to make it to the island either, okay? The Marine Corps made it there on August 7th, 1942. The Army got there in October of 1942. He celebrated Christmas on his ship in 1942, then went out on some more search and destroy missions on different islands. His unit doesn't even get there till like April of 1943. The Guadalcanal campaign is declared a victory in February.
Missed it by that much.
Ken, I know what you're thinking. Why? Why would you tell the story that way if you knew this all along? Okay? Couple of reasons. Reason number one, it pisses off the keyboard warriors, and I love doing that. It's like my second favorite pastime after shitting on communism. And two, you have to realize this is a story from the first person perspective, which is an incredible way to learn history. Could I have just used the internet and the hindsight being 2020 thing to be like, yeah, he showed up to Guadalcanal 7 months after the Marines got there, and the battle was pretty much over by the time he got there, and then moved on with the story? Yeah, I could have, but then you don't get a proper grasp on how incredibly confusing and misinformed a singular person on the battlefield can be in regards to the information that they have at the time. And you would never be able to understand that while the battle was already over by the time he got there, he didn't know that at the time. So when that door on the Higgins boat dropped, he was fully expecting to get lit up by enemy machine gun fire. Once he fell in the ocean and was wading through neck-deep water, he was expecting to get shot in the head by an enemy sniper at any moment. So while in reality, hindsight being 2020, he was never actually in any danger other than maybe drowning in the ocean, he still performed an incredible act of bravery. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to wrap it up here. We've been going for 15 minutes. That is wild. Dude is a great storyteller, but he uses so many cutaways that I'm kind of concerned about getting a strike. So, all right, guys. If y'all have enjoyed this, like, subscribe, drop a comment. Bro's got an act for telling stories. I give him that. Bro's got an act. So, like I said, hit that subscribe button. And I guess I'll see you guys next time.